In the lecture today, we'll talk about the integumentary system. The integumentary system forms the skin, hair, nail, glands, and sensory receptors that make the outer covering of your body. So this is the largest organ in our body. It protects and regulates and receives sensation from external environment. The function of integumentary system is to provide protection. It covers your entire body, so it's the first line of defense of your body. It helps in maintaining temperature through sweating. It receives sensation of touch, pain, temperature, and pressure. It excretes or eliminates waste products through sweat. It synthesizes vitamin D from the sunlight, and it prevents dehydration by preventing the removal of excess water from your body. Let's talk about the layers of skin. The skin has three major layers: epidermis, dermis, and hypodermis. The epidermis is the outermost layer. It has a keratin protein in it, and it's formed from keratin containing stratified squamous epithelial. So you already know multiple layers of flattened epithelial cells. It does not have a blood supply, and it has different kinds of cells which contain keratin. So they are called keratinocytes. They contain melanin pigment. They are called melanocytes, and melanin pigment is what determines your complexion, your color. And then you have Langerhans cells, which have immune function. They provide protection against pathogens. And then you have Merkel cells in your epithelial, the outer epidermis, which are the touch receptors. The epidermal layer is further divided into 5 layers of epithelial cells, basically. To remember, you can use this mnemonic: come, let's get sunburn. Corneum, lucidum, granulosum, spinosum, and basal. The outer layer, which is the corneum, contains dead keratinized cells. It's hard. They provide protection, kind of waterproofing. The lucidum is the thick skin which is present on your palms and sole. Granulosum is where this cells start to keratinize. That's where the keratin protein starts building in your skin, and as you have more and more keratin building in your cells, they become less transparent, become more hard, and eventually these cells become dead keratinized cells as they keep progressing to outer surface. So keratinization starts here, and slowly cells keep progressing towards outer surface, and finally they are removed. So outer layers are constantly removed from your skin. Spinosum is thick, flexible. It provides strength and flexibility to your skin. And the deeper layer is the basal layer, which is kind of the one that makes the basement membrane in your skin. The cells are actively dividing here. New cells are constantly forming, and they keep migrating upward and keep adding to the outer layers of the cell of your skin. Next to epidermis, you have dermis. So after epidermis, you have dermis and then hypodermis. What do you have in dermis? Dermis is very vascular. There is a lot of blood supply. It has connective tissues. It contains collagen and elastic fiber that provides strength and elasticity and flexibility to your skin. And that's where you have your neurons, your blood vessels, glands, and hair follicles also start in your dermis. So you would see that there are several glands, and you have nerve endings in your dermis. Hypodermis is the layer below dermis. It contains fats. So adipose tissue is here, areolar connective tissue is here. It provides insulation, cushioning, and also stores energy. This layer can have varying thickness depending on how much fat you are storing in your body. There are several things that determine your skin complexion. First is the melanin pigment, which is produced in the melanocyte cells of your epidermis. The more melanin you have, the darker is your skin. But it's a good thing to have melanin because it provides protection against UV rays of sun. Then, depending on your diet, if you consume a lot of carrots and yellowish orange food material, it provides kind of a yellowish tint to your skin. For example, what you can see here, yellow tinting of skin. And then hemoglobin is the red pigment of your blood. The more hemoglobin you have, the more flushing or redness you have in your skin. Hair originates in the dermis. The visible part of hair is called the hair shaft, and the part that's below the skin is called the hair root. The hair root is surrounded by follicles which have blood supply and have actively dividing cells. That's where the hair growth happens. And attached to these hair follicles, you have the erectopili cells or the erectopili muscles. So these muscles, when they contract, make your hair straight up. So that is what makes your goosebumps. Hair provides protection from UV rays and foreign material. They also help in providing insulation, keep your body warm, and they also receive the sensory stimulus of touch and movement. So when your epidermal cells become super keratinized, they become hard, they lose their transparency, they become opaque and become very hard and dead. They make your nails. So your nails are basically keratinized epidermal cells. The hair has a growing area, which is the root of your nail, and the visible part of the nail is called the nail body. Then you have a cuticle which protects the new nail growth so that you have a proper seal at the growing area and microorganisms don't get inside your nail. What's the function of nails? Nails provide protection to fingers and toes, and they also help with fine motor skills. For example, skills of drawing, calligraphy, and writing. For all those minute skills, the nail provide you support and protection. Different kinds of glands present in your skin are sebaceous glands, which are the oil producing glands in your skin that keeps your skin lubricated. Then you have sudoriferous glands, which are the sweat glands. So these sweat glands are further of two types, acrine glands or apocrine glands, depending on whether they are present all over your body or they are present in certain areas, for example armpits and groins, and they are usually active after your puberty. Then you have serovinous glands which produce earwax, and mammary gland which produce milk in breasts. So sebaceous glands or the oil glands are located at the root of your hair follicle. They produce oil which is called sebum. They prevent dryness of skin and hair. They have antimicrobial properties in the oil they produce, and they also keep the skin flexible because a dry skin becomes hard and loses its flexibility or suppleness. If you have overproduction of oil, that can lead to acne. The sudoriferous glands or the sweat glands, as mentioned earlier, are of two types. The acrine glands are present all over your body, and they are more concentrated on palms and sole and forehead. That's where you sweat more. These glands produce sweat which is more watery in nature. It contains 99% water, and their main function is to regulate temperature. The apocrine glands are present in armpits, groins, or around nipple, and they produce thick secretions. which can even be milky when it comes to mammary glands. They are mainly active after puberty, and uh, they contain more lipids and fats, because of which they sometimes have specific smells associated to them, which we call body odor. Serominous glands produce wax in the external ear canal. This wax helps in trapping dust and microorganisms, prevents it from going into the internal ear, and also prevents the drying up of ear canal. Mammary glands are specialized or modified sweat glands. So these are the apocrine glands, which are active after puberty, and their secretion contain more fats and proteins. So these mammary glands produce milk for nourishment of infants. They are stimulated by prolactin and oxytocin hormone, usually after the childbirth. Disorders associated with integumentary system are the disorders or problems of skin, hair, or nails, such as acne, which happens when your oil glands get clogged by overproduction of oil; eczema, which is a kind of inflammation of skin that causes itchiness or dryness; psoriasis is again an autoimmune situation in which your skin cells are being attacked by your own immune system. Then you can have different kinds of burns. So the degree of burn is decided by which layer of your skin is damaged. The epidermal damage is mostly associated with first degree burns. The second degree burn is when both epidermis and dermis are affected, and third degree burn is when epidermis, dermis, and hypodermis, all major three layers of your skin, are affected or destroyed. Skin cancer is when you have uncontrolled growth of cells in your skin tissue. It can be basal cell carcinoma, which is the most common form of skin cancer, and the tumor or the cancer is growing relatively slower in this case. Squamous cell carcinoma is very prone to being spread, and the melanoma is the third kind of skin cancer, which is very dangerous, very aggressive, divides very fast, and also spreads very fast. Usually our skin might feel some kind of redness or heat or swelling. This situation is called inflammation. Inflammation may occur because of some allergies or some infection because of the pathogen trying to enter your body. In that case, you have the fibroblast cells which start the repair process. The fibroblast cells are present in the dermis, which is the layer under epidermis, and they start migrating to the site of inflammation, and they start dividing, start creating new protein fibers, and that's how you build the new tissue. That is called the proliferation phase, where the cells are dividing and constructing new tissue. Ultimately, the tissue matures and starts filling the area around them, and ultimately you have a formation of scar at the spot of injury, but slowly the cells are going to migrate from underneath and repair the entire area. So the skin weighs about 15% of your entire body weight. Every minute we shed about 30 to 40,000 dead cells from our skin. An average adult has about 20 square feet of skin all over their body. So it's a huge area, and that's why skin is the largest organ of your body. And the thickness of the skin is highest at palms and sole of your feet, and the skin is thinnest on your eyelids. So these were just some fun facts about skin, and we'll continue with our next lecture in next video.